Okay, thank you. My name is Andreas Wagner. I have a chair at the University of Stuttgart, and I'm board of management of FKFS, which is an R&D supplier. Looking forward to moderating this panel, and this panel is about innovation strategies of Tier 1 suppliers. Innovations are one of the key factors in global competition, and we have a very sharp and a very intense competition at the moment. If you just think back last Friday, as one example, the bad news and the news from automotive industry in Germany really kind of depressing. So there is a very strong competition, and one of the most important things you have to do now is to bring the right new techniques into the right products, into the right markets. And this is a big challenge. It's said easily, but you all know this is a big challenge. And in this panel, we have 4 Tier 1 suppliers that are, each of them is acting worldwide. And let's get to know and to hear how they tackle this challenge and what's their strategy in terms of innovation. Please welcome on stage the first one, Johannes Grabowski, head of Open Bosch at Bosch Ventures. The second one, Olivier Cadet, he's Vice President of Advanced Innovation at OPmobility. Third one, Benedikt Reder, Senior Vice President of Product Strategy and Innovation at the Huf Group. And the fourth one, Raphael Distler, Vice President of Innovation Cluster Robotics at Schaeffler Group. Welcome. So let me just join you. Johannes, first question to you. Bosch is a global player, one of the biggest player in automotive industry, supplier. What do you think are the biggest challenges from your point of view for a Tier 1 like Bosch to bring the right products into the right markets?
Thanks for that question. Sounds a little bit general. Maybe what's not a challenge, you know, after a history of close to 140 years of deep tech, we know how to industrialize and we know how to scale globally. And I would say same is maybe true for a lot of other players here. So we know how to do it. The question might be, what should we scale? And there is a challenge. We are now approached with billions of, I would say, equity that is coming in, flooding into corporate innovation. And we have to make sense of it. There's an estimate that there are around about 1.3 million new tech startups every year approaching. And you have to make sense and you have to understand who is our customer tomorrow and how do we deal with these things. So I'm very happy that we have within Bosch since quite a while, Bosch Ventures. I'm part of that team, so we're investing since 19 years, and we do have Open Bosch as a venture client unit, and we are making startup partnerships easy. So in case you don't feel it's easy with Bosch, please talk to me after that speech, because maybe I can help you with that. And that being said, I'm very, very proud to see kind of like this crowd alive, and I'm very happy to see a lot of partners already here being on stage and with us today. And that being said, thanks a lot for building the future together with us. And for that, please give a hand to yourself, whoever is not looking on his smartphone. Okay. 3 people. Thanks.
Olivier was agreeing already to some statements from you. So my question to you is, OPmobility has a slogan, "We challenge the status quo through innovations." What does this mean, especially? And is there any way how you as a company support the creation of innovations?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thank you for the invitation to speak, first of all. So innovation has been part of OPmobility since the very beginning of the company in 1946. And when you think about how the company was established, it was established to really challenge the conventional thinking by bringing plastic or new material into the automotive design, which at the time was very innovative. Since then, innovation continues to be in our DNA. And I would say it's a strategic capability for the company where we need to anticipate the trends and turn those technology trends into business impact for the company and for the sector that we're in. We mainly support innovation through three complementary levers. First, a very clear strategic view on what to work on. Second, engagement with innovation ecosystems, and I'll come back to that. And the third lever we have is industrial execution as well. So on the first one, the strategic focus, I think it's important to know what trends are going to impact our industries, to understand what technologies are used in other industries and that we need to bring into our sector, and have very clear roadmaps at the product level. So that takes care of the strategic focus for us. The second aspect is the ecosystem engagement, and I think a place like this, an event like this, is a good example of that. Playing a key role in connecting with startups, in bringing new technologies from outside into the company is also how we innovate. And then the third aspect is important. It's the capacity we have to execute. And just like you mentioned at Bosch, at OPmobility, we also have the capacity to produce high volume parts with a high quality, high degree of repeatability. How do we help and bring this expertise and this know-how to a startup that needs to scale up? And the scale-up aspect is probably the most difficult thing a startup has to do. The MVP side is okay when you develop a proof of concept or a minimum viable product, but to scale that up is really a challenge, and that's where we come in as a big industrial company. We have the know-how and the support to do that. So those three things: strategic focus, ecosystem engagement, and then industrial execution.
Sounds well organized, really. So, Benedict, you're a member of the Huf Group. Huf Group is also a globally acting player in authorization systems, car access systems. So, if you have in mind this international fight with respect to the technical leadership, do you think, what's your feeling? Do you think that Germany is still a top location worldwide, or to what degree has this changed in your opinion?
Yeah, so first of all, very crisp. For me, Germany is still a top location for innovation. Yeah? Because we have the resource for that. That means the people. The engineering, the creativity is there. So that's bottom line, and this is, I think, the starting point. But there's a big but. The last 5 years, we observed, also in our niche and our industry, automotive, two major things which I think we should work on. First, and I want to use your word fight, we need to fight a little bit against the, I call it paper engineer. Because we have so much bureaucracy and regulations, and also the mindset is overloaded with this paperwork. And we do not work on the engineering core, where our nature is, where we have the success in our products, what we see here really over years. And we lost this a little bit because of these rules. And people work like 80% of their time on paper and not on the product. And this is something we need to change. And this is something which is for sure in the companies. It's a mindset topic. It's also a cultural topic. And this is the first pillar. The second one is that we have, let's say, regionalization, and we need to adapt to the local market needs much more. So a central innovation out of Germany is not that effective. So we need to link to the regions. Also in our case, yeah, we have, especially in China, everybody knows, different game rules, different speed. And for that, we need to connect and use these requirements and the customer needs and the cultural differences to impact our innovation strategy. And this is where Startup Autobahn also helped us. So that was an active trigger which we used. Also, not only with startups and companies supporting us with, for example, our booth we have there, invitation to everyone to see it, fast but not perfect approach. Yeah? We did this in a few weeks with a partner, E-Ink. But also to give ecosystem partners like Arena 2036, some of you may know, they gave us the link to universities in China to get the culture and the students and what people need on the road. Yeah? They like different things. It's not rational always. They like more light, it's blinky, it's shiny. And these things you need to incorporate. So it's not that you have to push innovation everywhere outside now, out of Germany, but you need to incorporate and connect much, much better to be faster, because we cannot stay in this, let's say, old mentality to be perfect, full of paper. We need to be fast and go with products which you can touch.
But as you said, you need to have the creativity, which I also think we have, but you also need some certain boundary conditions. They're also important.
100%.
Raphael, you're with Schaeffler Group. Schaeffler Group is acting on different fields of technology. So we were talking about automotive industry, but you're also, like, could have asked you this question too, by the way, Johannes, like Bosch, you are acting on different fields, on different technical sectors. Do you have any idea or any experience, is there a special way which you can support to bring one innovation from one sector into a completely different one?
Okay, so first, thank you for having me and thank you for this great question. So I think in general, there's always two things which have to come together to do those types of innovations. The first one is you need to have a real market opportunities. You need to see something changing. And the second one is you need to have a strong technological fit or competence fit to your company. And yeah, we are not doing this within a vacuum. So we are continuously monitoring markets by talking to customers, being part of communities like this one here, to see trends arising or to see market changes. And I think then you have to compare this to your product portfolio, but not even just to your product portfolio. You have to be a bit more radical. You have to think about your competences. So not just thinking, oh, I have an ECU, can I build this somewhere else in? You have to think about where is my core competence. In at Schaeffler, we have the core competence of motion technology, and this is what we try to apply then in new different fields. And to do that, so you need an organization, and this is exactly what we have, where we make the sensing of the market, so doing this market observations, scouting for those trends, but then also an organization which is, and you just said it, it's all about speed, where you can put those ideas for those markets very rapidly into at least prototypes or things you can discuss with customers. And to give one example, because this is where I'm active in, is when we talk about humanoids, we encountered this trend quite early, I would say, but we also found out this is behaving totally different to the automotive market. And therefore, we gave people the chance within Schaeffler to, let's say, break a bit the rules or work not with to all those corporate rules to go in a startup mode. So combining the speed and the flexibility of a startup with the backbone of the full Schaeffler corporation. And I think this is, at the end, the key when it comes to new technologies or new trends. You have to reinvent a bit yourself. You have to think a bit more radical, but you also have to rely on your core competence and see, is this something for us or is this too far away?
Yeah, speed, a word that gets more and more important in the meantime. So one last question to each of you. So please, short answer. If you look 5 years into the future, what do you expect to be the biggest innovation which has the potential of a game changer? And do you think this innovation will be made in Germany? Johannes.
I don't know what will be the game changer. I'm a little bit low on that. But what I love, because I was building robotics myself in Silicon Valley, I love to see these physical AI things to evolve. And maybe in 5 years' time, it can do things even at my home, which I don't like to do today. So that will be a game changer for me personally.
Okay. Olivier, what do you think?
Personally, I don't think the next game changer will be one single technology. It will be more the convergence of different technologies, and probably in the space of physical AI, but turning what we do today into intelligent, integrated systems. And will it be done here in Germany? I think it will be done more globally, and it will be done by the players who are able to orchestrate the ecosystems that innovation requires with different types of players.
Benedict?
Yeah, I think to combine here, so physical AI, that this buzzword AI gets, let's say, feelable, recognizable in real-world products you can touch, not just software and service products. But I was also discussing with my wife, we will have the discussion to buy such a robot, maybe to do your dishes and laundry for a subscription service. And this will be the discussion in the next 5 years. And if it comes out of Germany, I think it will be niche know-how which will be combined. So the orchestration and system know-how combined will be the product. It's not a single, let's say, country or company doing it, because the systems are so complex.
What's your expectation?
Okay, so I just have to agree, not because it's paying my checks today, so it's my topic I'm working on. So it's physical AI, I guess. We have seen it in those numbers in the presentation before. We have seen it in, if you visit the startups outside, it's a technology with a lot of speed, and I think this will change everything. And yes, I'm pretty sure Germany will play a role in there. of course, with a global outreach. So we have to work together globally to make this happen, but we have core competences, and we have the competence to scale, we have competence in precision mechanics and all those things. And this is, I think, something we need to be aware of, and then this will be a success story.
Interesting insights from all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. I was glad to be a part of this expo. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.